How's it going, lads and ladies? I hope everyone is doing well. Welcome back to another episode of Touch and Tips number 33. This is my third one, flying solo. No Decepticon, rest in peace Decepticon. Gone, but soon to be forgotten. I hope everybody's doing well, which I believe I already said. We have Mr. Tradition. Is this working? Yes, it's working again. Nice. He says that Irish is a funny old language. I don't know if that means I misspelled something in the title. I asked him, there was no reply. So if I did, you're just going to have to put up with this. Daniel Drees over here with the yo. How you doing, Daniel Drees? And Mr. Chopped saying, sup friend. Hope everybody is doing well. There's kind of only two things to talk about, but I thought they were interesting enough that, well, I'll be honest. I was too lazy to edit a video, so I said, why not just do it live? And I got some things off my to-do list as well. You'll notice the annoying chat box is gone. That looks a bit better. I tried to mess with the alert box so that when I get a super chat, it's bigger, but I don't know if that actually worked, because I was making it bigger, I was stretching it out, but then when I was testing this, it looked the same. So I'm not sure if that's an issue or whatever, but I tried for that one. So yeah, there's two things to talk about. This might not be like a very long touch and tips. I can't see it being 2 hours like the last one. If it's 40 minutes, maybe that might be, we'll be doing good. But we'll see. Maybe you guys can bring some stuff to my attention and we can talk about that if you want. Tradition saying it was your chat spam at the start of the stream. Oh, I didn't know you could see that, because that was before I even started streaming. So I assumed that was, private. Man, thanks for the heads up there. Better be careful what I'm typing in that test box. Nice and clean look. Thank you very much, Mr. Chopped. I added this border, the orange border that you'd see in some of my thumbnails, just for a bit of pizzazz. I'm not sure if it is pizzazzy, it's just orange. Maybe I should add a bit of a gradient to it, or a bit of gloss on it or something like that. Maybe an animation of some kind. But right now it's what we've got. Mr. Jackpot is here, and he's moist, and I'm glad to hear it. Mr. Jackpot, I hope you're keeping well. I hope the Phasmophobia is keeping well. I've fallen behind on watching your Phasmophobia streams big time. I will get back to them though. It's nice that I can be like, when I have some time to myself, at least those are there waiting for me. And I do have some good lols, I like how you're such, I don't want to say the P word, because obviously I'm not that vulgar, but you're such cowards, really. As soon as one of you dies, it's like, I gotta get out of the house, you gotta force yourselves to go in one at a time. I want to see a stream where you do it solo. Can you do that for me, Jackpot? Anyway, I'm getting carried away here. Let's talk about, I'm not sure which one we start with. I suppose we'll start with this one, because it's open. Let's go with, there we go, Firesprite, which is the studio that Sony have recently acquired, are reportedly working on Horizon VR. Now, this is I've made a video about this 6 months ago, February, whatever. It's been rumored for a while now, this Horizon VR game. At first, they were talking Sony London, and that, after they finished work on the not the London Heist, Blood and Truth. I keep saying the London Heist for Blood and Truth. So after they finished work on that, they were supposedly working on Horizon VR. But then somewhere along the way, there's a rumor that it got handed off to Firesprite. And then there was complete silence about it until now, where we'll read this article. This is from thegamepost.com. And the author is Zuhad Ali. How you doing, Zuhad Ali, if you're watching? So I've highlighted the key points. This part here is the important stuff. Down here is just, waffle. So let's get into it. So earlier this week, Firesprite Games officially announced that it's joining the PlayStation Studios family. According to a new report, Firesprite Games seems to be working on a brand new Horizon VR game that is a separate thing set in the Horizon universe. So that's important. This comes from a well-known insider. Now, I'll admit I've never heard of this guy, because he does an Xbox podcast. And obviously, me being a decent human being and not a subhuman, I wouldn't be listening to Xbox related podcasts or websites or, videos of any kind. No decent people would. However, they do have insiders over there on that Xbox side of the fence, and sometimes, there's a spill of information one way or the other. If they have connections are connections, so they can know about things on the PlayStation side as well, as apparently this Nick gentleman does. I looked him up on Twitter. He's got a big enough following. It's in the thousands, so I thought it might be, more concrete than just a random person saying it. Anyway, he went into detail about the new Sony acquisition during the Rumour Mill segment in this week's Xbox Era podcast episode. So he said, Sony acquired Firesprite, which is the ex-studio Liverpool studio that made Wipeout. I have been told that they are working on a Horizon VR game. When asked if this new Horizon VR game is a Forbidden West or Zero Dawn VR ports, I've added the ports there myself. Nick replied, I said, is it Forbidden West in VR? Is it Zero Dawn in VR? And they said, well, it's a separate thing. Set in the Horizon universe that is virtual reality, which I think is what I was hoping for. If it is true at all, I don't want it to be a port of, what we already have, or Forbidden West. I would like it to be something built ground up for virtual reality. That doesn't mean I want a small experience. I want it to be a big full game. And Firesprite are a big studio, 250 people, so there's nothing to suggest it won't be a big full game. But I'm happy that it's going to be, it's going to be dedicated to VR. He went on to say, I didn't get told if it's a full-blown game like Half-Life Alyx, or if it's an experience like that Batman thing. That part, I don't know. It's possible that Sony would want to release a VR version, blah, 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 blah. Obviously, that's just speculation, whatever, from the author himself. But that's all the juicy stuff. So now that I've finished reading that, let me get your thoughts on what I missed. Chop says, I want to play that game. I assume he's talking about Phasmophobia. We've got SpongeBob. I'm bringing his name down to SpongeBob because I'm not reading that out every time. Alright. Paleontologist. I don't know what he means by that. Do you think the Horizon Zero Dawn, or the Horizon, I should stop saying Zero Dawn, it's just Horizon. The Horizon VR game you'll be a paleontologist as a side character? Is that what that is? HB Puppet is here saying, yo, what's up HB Puppet? Finally get to catch a stream, and he is moist. Also, thanks for letting me know HB Puppet, and you're welcome. SpongeBob says, I want a Zero Horizon. Now you're fucking with my mind now. I want a Zero Horizon VR game. Is this a joke? The P word that you wouldn't use. Oh damn, that's from a while ago. Okay, I get it. I can use paleontologist, alright? Ross from Friends, am I right? And Chopped smoking it up. So there you go. So that's like the third Horizon VR rumor. One of them was from that Callum Hurley dude. That was the original one when it was Sony London. That guy worked with Oculus previously, so he's got a good track record. Then it moved on to Firesprite. Now Sony has acquired Firesprite. All the stars are aligning to show that, yes, there is some kind of Horizon VR game in development. And I'm going to expect to see this whenever they do the big PSVR reveal, whether it's a showcase or a state of play. It's probably going to be a showcase, I think this will be like one of the crown jewels in that showcase. A Horizon game dedicated to PSVR 2. Stream's getting fancy, says HP Puppet. You're goddamn right it is. I'm a fancy girl when I'm spilling my tea. Chop says that dude's name is definitely SpongeBob. Yeah, it's close enough. It's close enough, I think. So yeah, there's not much else to say about this other than speculation. You can imagine bow and arrow combat is going to be a primary focus of the game. I'm just going to move this a little bit this way because it's blocking my face, and I know you're here for the face. Maybe I should just move myself, actually. That might be better. And then bring the mic in a bit closer. There we go. It'd be cool if it was a PSVR 2 launch game. I agree. We need something. We need to start strong. PSVR 1 started fairly strong. Actually, I would say it started strong. You know, Until Dawn, Rush of Blood was a good launch game. Rigs was good, even though it was a flop. Tumble, alright. Here They Lie. It was like mixed. Some people got really sick with that, but the people who were able to stick with that game enjoyed that game. Chop says, "Are you going to talk about ... Alvo cancelled?" You know I talk about that in every Touch and Tip episode. That's why I don't even bother putting us in the title, because you know it's coming. Okay. With that out of the way, I think we can move on to the juicy one. Like, don't get me wrong, this is juicy, but this is kind of, you know, we don't have much to go on. You know, it's an insider giving us a rumor. Everything else is speculation. But this is something a little bit more solid. A little bit more detective work can be done here. GTA 5, the new trailer that we saw, that we streamed on the PlayStation Showcase. Did we see virtual reality footage in that, in front of our very eyes, without even realizing it? And before I go on, let me give 100% of the credit to PSVR Without Parole. I got the link to the video where they discuss this in the description. You want to check that out. But I don't know if it was them. I think it was one of their game cats made them aware of this. And it's kind of similar to how the Gran Turismo original teaser, there were some scenes in that where people were like, hold on a sec, is that virtual reality? That doesn't look like it's being controlled with a thumbstick. And basically the same thing is happening here. I'm going to mute this, and hopefully you're seeing this on the screen. I'm not going to full screen this because that's going to crash the whole place. You know how that is. HP Puppet says, what does that mean? And I don't know what he's talking about. What does what mean? And then Chopped says, I liked Rigs. I thought we could have had a blast playing that. We could have got Decepticon a puke bag. Yeah, that was definitely one as well that was testing people's stomachs. Not mine. Every time I tried to play that game, it was me. It was 3v3. And it was always me with 2 bots, because I could never get teammates, versus 2 real players and a single boss all the time. That was always how it was. And eventually I just gave up. I was like, why can't I get a full game? This is before I had online friends, like VR friends, before the channel, etc. Anyway, let's play the video, get to the parts which are suspicious. Because this whole trailer is suspicious. Like, you know, they keep talking about how there's improvements and enhancements, and they don't show really anything. Other than, you know, maybe a better draw distance, you know, more vegetation, shit like that. Was nothing worth talking about, unless they're showing us something that they can't actually talk about yet. Improved graphics that don't look that improved. Here, enhanced gameplay, and it's in first person. It's interesting when they say enhanced gameplay. I mean, what does that mean? That's very fucking vague, isn't it? Let me slow this bitch down to quarter speed. You know what, let me taser mode this. I can afford taser mode, but anything else is too expensive. It's after this train part. Maybe I shouldn't have slowed down this much. Right, so just watch the camera movement when you're in the car at the airport here. This is first person. The camera it's not steady. He's looking to the right. Now you can do that independently with the thumbstick, but I don't know if you can do it to this kind of, with that kind of smoothness. That looks like a natural head movement. And here we go again, another one. I think he's on a motor. No, he's on what is he on, a quad? Whatever. The point is, the head movement looks more independent compared to the, like, what a thumbstick might provide. You know? I had that same problem, but thought it was fun. He's talking about rigs. But yeah. I mean, it looks like that's what we're seeing. I don't know if there's any more instances of that throughout the trailer. Yeah, then they talk about GTA Online, which is wank. I mean, it's fine or whatever, but, you know, not interesting for VR because it doesn't show any first-person stuff. It's just like, look at the timing. Enhancements to gameplay. Enhanced gameplay. So if it's not virtual reality, what are they showing here? What's enhanced about what we're seeing here compared to what's already there? We already have first person. You know? There's a cop chase. That's, you know, whatever. That's done before. Are they, like, is it the explosion? The cop car crashed into the tanker and that caused an explosion? Is that something that wasn't there before? Like, they've changed damage? I don't know. That's a hint, I think. I mean, it's definitely interesting. HP Puppet asks, have you seen people on Facebook Market selling cars? I don't, well, I have, I think, but I'll finish your comment here. From GTA 5 Pix Laws. I haven't seen that, I don't think. Are they doing that in Ireland? That could be part of the upgrade. You mean GTA? You mean VR? SpongeBob says, I've seen flat earthers present better evidence. No, you haven't. You have not. Alright? Chop says, that explosion looked good and the glass breaking. It did, but the explosions, they're not new. That's how the explosions look right now on PS4, and the glass breaks just the same way on PS4. In fact, I would say identically. Like, there's no... The glass doesn't break apart any better there. You know, I'm not seeing what else really it could be. What else are they showing us here? Like, just the way when he really focuses on the fucking, the big rig coming towards him. I don't know. That explosion doesn't look enhanced to me. The glass looks the same. Fire effects all look very similar, and then we have this. Presumably this is also part of the enhanced gameplay. No. Notice how empty the highway looks. Not many cars on it. Could that be a sacrifice of being in virtual reality? What if this shit isn't even on PSVR 2? What if it's PSVR 1? And PS5 exclusive somehow? If there's any game they would try and get away with that, it would be something like GTA. It's big enough. And then, yeah, so enhancements to gameplay. They show this clip. Alright. Then they show this clip. And then they move on to this part, which shows the seamless transitions. That's what this part is here. So that means the two previous scenes were them demonstrating enhancements to gameplay. Both of those scenes were in first person. Both of them looked like they had independent head movement going on. I think the evidence is there. The only question is, if it's for PSVR 1, they would have just said that, wouldn't they? So if it is VR, then surely it's PSVR 2. Anyway, let me go back to the comments. I'm going down the rabbit hole here. No PS5 upgrade. Well, it is a PS3 game. Well, that would be sweet. See, because I kept talking and talking, I have no idea what you're replying to there. But that's my fault, not yours. But yeah, it does seem like it might be next gen. I think the Without Parole guys went on to speculate that because this got delayed until March next year, and because Gran Turismo 7, I believe, has a release date for March next year, that they're thinking maybe we'll see PSVR 2 launching in March next year. That sounds class, I'd love that, but I don't know if it's too good to be true. It seems very quick. You know, how many months away is that? Like, for the launch of new hardware, Sony's history would indicate maybe they'd like to release hardware in the holiday period, although they might make exceptions for virtual reality. Chop says, well, fuck off. Thanks for listening. Listen, I'm trying to listen, but it's not easy when you're so stoned, Chopped. Alright, and you're just talking away to yourself there in the void. yeah, that's the evidence. I think it's compelling. I'm kind of kicking myself not to have realized this, especially when we were looking out for that Gran Turismo 7 trailer and we were like, okay, let's keep an eye out for any kind of angles that might show head movement, but then we overlooked this completely, you know? Needless to say, if this comes to virtual reality, it will be a good day. We'll be eating good at the table that day. Mr. SpongeBob says, I don't see a release date so soon. Oh, without more leaks. Yeah. I mean, they could always just... It could be a case of, yes, this is viewer footage. And yes, they will release this game in March. But then they might say viewer mode coming later. You know, the viewer mode doesn't need to launch when the game launches. And that applies to Gran Turismo 7 as well. Or any game, really. Especially these hybrid games, you know. Chops says, bruh, you're on stoned right now. Maybe that's why you're not... I was expecting you to start like flying off the handle as soon as I started talking about GTA 5. But you've been pretty mellow about that. Which, that would probably... I would like the stonedness would account for that. Whoops. God damn it. Jason Ewan is here. How are you doing, Jason Ewan? He says, howdy, everybody. How you doing, Jason Ewan? Puppet over here with 3 tomatoes. 3 tomatoes, Puppet. What are you trying to tell me with that? I don't know, but ketchup comes from tomatoes, so they're not a fruit I enjoy. Get them out of here. Never. Are you throwing tomatoes at me? Is that what that is? Maybe the crowd is displeased. Regardless, I'm kind of excited now about this. You know, a little bit hyped. But I don't think there's anything else I can really say about that. You know? Mr. Chopped says, oh shit, that right, this GTA 5 bullshit again, lols. Exactly, there it is. I was waiting for it. And Mr. Ewan, doing great, buddy. Hope everyone is also. My sports team lost a sports event yesterday, Jason Ewan, so I'm a bit depressed about that. But other than that, all good. Chopped says, way too stoned to give 2 fucks. There we go. I'm gonna... You know what? The stoner language gets out of here from now on. I don't put that on the screen. No, I'm banning marijuana talk. Doesn't get featured. Anyway, lads. There's nothing else really else to say about that. I'll put that one up because I got a chuckle. Alright. So stoned I'd even buy it again right now, says Mr. Chopped. Listen, I'm going to call it a wrap there. Unless there's anything else to talk about, you can bring it up real quick. And we can go into that. But right now, I'm kind of spinning my wheels. I'm out of juice. You guys don't seem to care too much about this. I don't know why you're not excited. You know, this is a get hype moment. Chopped's too stoned. SpongeBob is calling me racist. But I'm not sure why. Billy Lawhorn over here says that would be a good beginning to a new year. Indeed it would. The question is, like, why did they show it off now? You know, shouldn't they have waited if it is viewer? I think maybe it can launch without viewer. That's the kind of saving grace. Launch without viewer. Then at launch time saying, or after PSVR 2 is announced, then they say, yes, this PSVR 2 is coming, or support is coming to GTA 5 whenever it launches, which I'm presuming October, November. HP Puppet says, any games you playing recently? I'm just kind of, whenever I'm getting a bit of time, I'm just doing like a few games of FIFA or whatever. So nothing properly. Maybe an old run on Returnal. I haven't touched VR in ages, unfortunately. But hopefully that'll be fixed soon. Mr. Chop says, GG brother, how about the showcase? What about the showcase? We've already talked about the showcase. I streamed it. You were here for that. HP Puppet says, have you played Ghost of Tsushima? Yes, I have. I haven't played the director's cut, if that's what you mean. Just need to get some disposable income one day, and then I'll try that out. So I want to try out the expansion, that Iki Island stuff. I'm not going to go through the whole game again, just for the PS5 enhancements. Biggest lol. But I don't know why. Why are you calling me racist bigots? Where's this coming from? Tina Bose says, this makes me happy. This makes me happy too, Tina Bose. But however, let's keep our expectations in check. Could just be a cinematic camera angle. You can do shit like that. Even yourself, you could do that with that Rockstar editor. I used to make these videos all the time. You can record gameplay. Then you can take what you've recorded and you can mess with the camera angles so that it looks like a movie, cinematic, whatnot. So you could definitely alter it to make it look like the camera is mimicking someone's head. However, what else are they showing here? What else are they showing in that enhanced gameplay part? Because you could talk about the explosions in this scene, or the way the cop car explodes from hitting into the tanker. You can talk about that there. Fair enough. That maybe that's enhanced, which I don't think it is, but whatever. But what's enhanced about this next scene? This part. What's enhanced here? I mean, this just looks like normal GTA gameplay to me. Unless they've changed the handling of vehicles. Maybe that's what they're trying to show. That's the only other thing I can think of. But I don't know. Maybe that's a stretch as well. Chop says, if I wasn't here for that, watched it today. It was a good one. Oh, I thought you were there. I thought you were there giving out about GTA. Maybe that was from a previous Touch and Tips. Finally. Where is Quick Ash? I'm assuming you mean Quiplash. We have to play a game of that one of the days. I actually forgot entirely about it, to be honest. The last day we played that was when my son was born. I had to end the stream. She was like, hey, I'm going into labor now. I was like, uh-oh, bye-bye. And then the stream abruptly cuts. And GTA role-playing viewer, you better believe us. I'll be role-playing like, oh my god. Like there's no tomorrow. And the way you can make movies and stuff like that? If you can use motion controllers, you could really act out something interesting and fun. The head bobble? You mean the bobble? Is there a bobblehead in the ATV? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Or you just mean head movement? Let me play this in normal speed to see if we can, deduce something. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what they're trying to show off there if they're not trying to show off virtual reality. Puppet says, why does it look so framey? Hold on a sec. So cussy, if that makes sense. Maybe it's like my laptop struggling. Hello, officer. Haha. I don't know, was that a joke? If that was a joke, then don't ever do it again, Puppet. Don't ever attempt that shit again, alright? Alright, lads. I'm definitely spinning my wheels now. I'm just going to thank everyone for watching. I'm going to thank my Patreon supporters. I'm going to have to do if I'm doing these more frequently, these live streams, then I'm going to have to make a screen. So I put that at the end to thank my Patreon supporters and give them a shout out. But I can still give them a shout out if I can remember them all. We've got Pete Hawkins. We've got Tradition. We've got Daniel the Pumpkin Patch Kid. We've got Crumb. And we have one more that I'm always forgetting one. Tradition, Pete Hawkins. It'll come to me. It'll come to me. It's not coming to me. I shouldn't have attempted this. And this person's gonna be like, you know what, Patreon cancelled, which is fair enough because I'm not putting the content out as much as I should be. But apologies for forgetting that last person. Have a good night. Thank you very much, Mr. Chopped. Not in viewer because no one uses two hands on wheel. Well, it could still be played with a controller, Resident Evil 7. I'm just talking about viewpoint, GG later, y'all, says Chopped. And Puppet says it will come to you when you are comfortable in your bed. Exactly. As soon as I end the stream, it's going to come to me because I'm going to go and look up on Patreon and see what name I missed. Oh, you know what, actually? Wait a sec. How many names did I list? Pete Hawkins. Was it Pete Hawkins? I thought I said Pete Hawkins. Pete Hawkins, Crumb, Tradition, Daniel the Pumpkin Patch Kid. That's 4. Maybe I'm just down to 4 now, is that it? And there's Character Father as well at the lower tier, which I don't normally shout out, but because his name isn't on the screen, I'm going to give him a shout out anyway. So thank you everyone for that support. Appreciated. even though it's undeserved. And now definitely I'm going to end the stream. Thanks very much for watching. Bye bye. Take care. GG. Peace out. Etc.